Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel before starting the video. Special thanks to Grasshopper for $5 and Royal Sabrine for £2. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 256 based on novel. So let's start. The beautiful, terrifying, huge bird silhouette rushed down. It was a black armored silhouette with a gold shield. Luo Feng board. Luo Feng board. There's hope. The two human undyings were gleeful. The malevolent two-headed demon undying, however, howled. The Luo Feng board was a renowned flying weapon. It was naturally formed and made special. From a glance it was almost like a bird, especially with its naturally formed mysterious engraving of a bird. The moment it had fully melded with its owner, triggering it fully would produce the silhouette of a bird, causing one's speed to rise greatly. The price of the board was only about 1 to 2 million mixed elements. But as it was naturally formed, it was extremely rare and hard to buy. Even very few official level undyings had one. Having a Luo Feng board alone was a display of status. Shu Fan, we can win. The copper armored undying was burning with flames as he communicated excitedly. Ha ha, we may flip the tables. The seemingly weak man was surrounded with water droplets as he smiled. How? The demon undying was extremely cautious too. Even though it was attacking the two human undyings, it was ready to flee the moment anything bad happened. However, in that instant. What a joke. Both undyings stared wide-eyed. Sector Lord? How could it be a Sector Lord? How? The demon undying was incredibly excited. Their energy detection was incredibly precise, instantly sensing that the black armored man rushing down was a Sector Lord. Even though his energy was off the charts, even though he stood on a Luo Feng board, it couldn't change the fact that this black armored man was still only a Sector Lord. How can it be a Sector Lord? The two undyings were about to crumble. They thought their savior had come, yet it was just a Sector Lord. Luo Feng stood on the board and rushed down. After looking at the malevolent two-headed demon undying, naturally he was very clear about what type of demon this was. Time-space nightmare, one of the 18 royal bloodlines of the demon race. At maturity it would naturally reach domain lord level. One head had a silver eye and the other had a gold. The gold eye could affect space while the silver could affect time. The moment both eyes used its strength simultaneously, it would have a strong control of both space and time. Combined with a lore domain, it could amplify its strength by many times. And this beast below should be considered the shame of the time-space nightmare undyings. As a royal bloodline proficient in time and space, this particular beast had very low achievements in both time and space. Any stronger beast would easily reach official level, simply relying on its natural talents, and yet this one only reached pinnacle general level. It was indeed a shame to the bloodline. Otherwise, a royal bloodline family was actually used to lead an army on the battlefield, and not given her undying underlings. Time-space nightmare, even though it's far from the Huisuo beast's time stop, and far from the golden horned beast's natural ability to strengthen, its population is still much more than both the space beasts. Luo Feng thought within. The 12 pinnacle bloodlines of the space beasts are much more valuable than the 18 bloodlines of the royal demon bloodlines. However, similarly, the chances of them becoming undyings are much easier than the space beasts. Time-space talent had different levels. Space binding was a talent too, but its effect was pitiful. Time flow change was a talent too. Normally it could speed or slow down time. Its amplitude was very minimal. Teleportation was a talent too. Its effects were heavenly. There were some life forms that were able to teleport from birth. Time stop was just as heavenly. The weaker races all have their heroes too. The strong ones would have their weaker warriors. Time-space nightmare, die? Luo Feng rushed down and instantly triggered the gold shield in his hand. Large amounts of rhombus-shaped metal plates flaked off, each with complex engravings as they instantly interweaved with countless gold threads. A total of 999 flakes shot out. As countless threads weaved through, connecting to the universe laws, it almost instantly formed a huge large beast god projection in mid-air. The 999 flakes vanished from sight and the beast god projection became clear, every scale on it visible. For thick legs with claws, a long scaled tail, one horn that pierced the skies. The powerful energy that dominated the universe, even though it seemed weak at this moment, it still made others shudder. What's this? This? The two human undyings were shocked, even the demon undying stared wide-eyed at the image. As for the humans and demon sector lords, they all simply went limp in mid-air, falling from the skies and flopping on the ground. All of them were filled with fear, just the pressure alone made them crumble. Beast God Armament First Form, Beast God Descends. The black-armored Luo Feng stood on the Luo Fu Chi board and gazed down at the time-space nightmare. Howl, the beast below howled and rushed into the sky, simultaneously using both malevolent eyes to shoot out beams of light. The powerful Law domain was affected by the time-space control and its power rose greatly, immediately rushing towards the seemingly small and weak black-armored sector lord. Luo Feng gazed below. Rumble. The surrounding space warped and a huge grassland appeared. The powerful world projection immediately clashed with the Law domain. Rumble. The two clashed and the Law domain was pushed back, finally closing in until it was only 100 kilometers around the beast itself. This made the beast give off a look of disbelief. How could his Law domain be pushed back by world projection? Beast God descends with sky-tearing claw. Luo Feng thought. The powerful beast god projection let out a howl as it tore through space. This howl seemed to come from an ancient time itself, and as it flew, it rushed downwards and got incredibly close to the beast, after which it unleashed its malevolent claw. Tear! This blurry claw instantly tore through one of the beast's heads that was biting at him, tearing through the thin layer of armor. Red and blue spewed in all directions as its head was torn apart. The claw didn't seem to weaken at all as it followed through and slashed straight through the beast's torso. Howl, the beast's other head let out an enraged howl as countless fragments of its body became undying energy and began to reform. Tear! The terrifying claw of the beast god along with countless gold leaves swiftly spread through tens of thousands of kilometers in area, wrapping around the heavily injured and fleeing time-space nightmare. Countless gold leaves madly wrapped around it, and in the blink of an eye, nothing was left of the beast at all. It had fallen. Dying under my strongest beast god presence and technique, you should be honored. The black-armored Luo Feng waved his hand and the undying star-eating plant swiftly shrank and entered his shoulder. Back then 11 Luo Duo had left 4 great manuals behind. Beast God Armament, Beast God Howl, Beast God Transformation and Beast God Run. Of which Luo Feng most frequently used the Beast God Armament. The Beast God Armament had 6 levels, matching the 7 forms of the Nanshan 7 forms 6 levels. Luo Feng had finished the first scaled form. After studying more, he also learned the Beast God Descends. One had to know that when Luo Feng spent 900 years in Primal Chaos City, his Beast God presence was already at the level of passing the 16th level of the Heavenly Bridge. As he focused even more on it for another 300 years, it allowed him to reach the point of the 17th level. And the Beast God Armament was a frequently used weapon by the knights. A good spirit weapon had very strong amplification effects. With the Beast God Armament, his power naturally soared. It became extremely easy for him to unleash the sky-tearing claw, almost as proficient as when the Golden Horned Beast used it. Its power was close to an Emperor level undying. Close to Emperor level. Spirit energy amplitude was over 3,200. Sector Lord Pinnacle Spirit Energy. This made it so that when Luo Feng unleashed this move, it would have power akin to an official level undying. After including his world projection, he could easily suppress the space-time nightmare's strong law domain. The moment he hit the body, victory was a given. Flee! Flee! The thousands of demons howled and shouted in all languages, dispersing in all directions. The human sector lords, domain lords and universe levels that were originally losing worked together and swiftly killed as many as they could. The 2 human undyings naturally didn't lower themselves to go chase them, smiling as they walked towards Luo Feng. Thank you, brother. The copper-armored undying walked over. Thanks for the help. The weak-looking undying carefully examined Luo Feng, saying, he is boy and I'm Shu Fan, we are both generals. We believe that you are a majesty from one of the 5 Leviathans. The black-armored Luo Feng with helmet and boots descended, the Beast God Armament in his hand and the Luo Fu Chi board beneath his feet entered his internal world. The black-armored moved and his helmet vanished, revealing a short-haired youth. Second brother, third brother. On the other side, Nuo Lanshan gathered excitedly with the 2 other Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors. We don't have to separate anymore, it's safe. Ha ha, 5th brother, we should thank that powerful warrior then. That warrior sure is powerful, he should be Sector Lord level, yet he easily killed that demon race undying. And the gold leaves should be an undying plant. Nuo Lanshan nodded as he heard, thinking within, a Sector Lord easily killing a demon undying, that's powerful. That's a true absolute genius, who knows what his background is. If I can get close to him, then Luo Feng wouldn't be a threat anymore. Nuo Lanshan's fear of Luo Feng drove him to the outer region wars. Look, that warrior is revealing his face. He looks like he's no ordinary person. The second and third brothers' eyes gleamed. Many sector lords, domain lords and universe levels all looked over. Nuo Lanshan turned too. The usual high and mighty two Undying seemed humble as they welcomed the black armored man and chatted with him. The warrior revealed his face, even though he had changed his appearance slightly, as this person was the reason behind his coming to the outer region wars for 4,000 over years. How could the hate-filled Nuo Lanshan not recognize this face? He. Nuo Lanshan looked at the distant black armored man, his eyes staring wide, almost like they were about to pop out. Luo Feng, it's really Luo Feng. Nuo Lanshan's brain was just crumbling from this. He knew that over 4,000 years ago that if he stayed in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire with Luo Feng's improvement speed, the distance between him and Luo Feng would only get closer within the human territories. After all, he did get the huge axe award for universe level. He had madness in his bones, hence he gritted his teeth and headed into the outer region wars to gamble. Along the way, he had two very dangerous situations. In the outer region wars, he risked his life over and over. He quickly broke through to Domain Lord level when he arrived. However, a Domain Lord level 1 here was just cannon fodder. He continued to struggle, overcoming situations over and over until he finally reached Sector Lord level. How many years has it been, and what did he fight for? Because he was afraid of Luo Feng, hence he kept improving himself. However now, Luo Feng actually appeared before him, and he had the strength to kill a pinnacle Undying general. How did he get so strong? Why is he so strong? Didn't he just join the genius competition over 4,000 years ago, and he was only star level 9 then? It's only been 4,000 years, and now he's a Sector Lord Pinnacle. Even a Sector Lord Pinnacle shouldn't be able to kill a pinnacle Undying general. It's over. It's over. His mind was in a mess. He felt helpless. The two Undyings of this army, Shu Fan and Boy, had introduced themselves. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. I'm called Yang. Yang? The two remembered this name. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng naturally had formed many connections with others, those closer to him like Tai Wo, Demon Lady and comrades in life or death. He would ask them to call him Madman. The main thing was to remain anonymous. Actually, the name Madman was one he used even back on Earth. This nickname was commonly seen. Out of 10 soldiers, there would probably be one with that name. Luo Feng wasn't afraid of revealing his identity through it. As for Shu Fan and Boy etc., they were bound to be just passing acquaintances, just a quick name for them to call. He had grown up in one of the 8 great cities back in Jiangnan base Yangzhou City, hence he chose the name Yang. Yang, the commotion from the battle earlier was huge. There will be many other powerful warriors rushing over, we had better leave quickly. Shu Fan said. Come with us. Boy said. Luo Feng nodded, all right. Ha ha. The two Undyings immediately laughed. What a joke! To be able to kill a pinnacle general Undying at Sector Lord level, it showed that his law comprehension level was at least an official level pinnacle. For such a being, when he became Undying, he would almost definitely become an emperor. Keeping close to such a being was such an honor. Gather. Boy ordered and waved his hand. A huge silver disc ship with about 300 meters in diameter appeared. The middle portion opened, revealing a huge pathway. Gather. Gather, the other Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors ordered. Hurry onto the ship and we'll leave immediately. Yes. The incredibly excited universe levels, domain lords, Sector Lord soldiers flew from all directions, all flying into the ship. The pathway allowed up to 1,000 at a time. Fifth brother, what are you thinking about? The furry-faced tall and sturdy Sector Lord dragged Nuo Lanshan. Hurry into the ship. Ah? Nuo Lanshan awoke. He couldn't help but look into the distance. There stood Luo Feng, who glanced over, and the two of them made eye contact, causing Nuo Lanshan to feel as though the beast god pressure had landed on him again. He shuddered. Coming. Nuo Lanshan followed the others into the ship. This 300-meter diameter disc-shaped ship's middle portion had a diameter of 200 meters, and there were 3 cabins within. These 3 rooms all had a diameter of 200 meters each and easily housed close to 20,000 soldiers, of which Nuo Lanshan was within the middle cabin. He sat in the corner and held his head. Calm down, I have to stay calm. He held within, as he couldn't hold it in. Luo Feng's appearance today had caused all hopes he had for the past 4,000 years to instantly crumble. He struggled between life and death for over 4,000 years because of that fear. This was specifically for the chance to take revenge on Luo Feng. Breathe. Nuo Lanshan took deep breaths, perspiration beading from his forehead as he gradually calmed down. Over 4,000 years, he actually reached such a level, and his strength is so terrifying. He's definitely heavily respected within the virtual universe company. Nuo Lanshan thought. With his position, he naturally didn't know much about Luo Feng's position in the company. Then, my chances of revenge are 0. He thought, using the other races to take revenge is also not possible. First, the moment they see a human, they will kill me immediately. Secondly, they won't even believe me. Third, if I work with the other races, I'll be killed immediately. Fourth, even if they know there's a genius here, there are many human geniuses, why would they want to kill Luo Feng? Lastly, if I leave the army, Luo Feng will take the chance to kill me, I'd have no chance to report at all. In all, using the other races to take revenge had a success rate of under 0.000000001%. This was close to 0, and the cost would be his own life. I don't want to sacrifice my life. Then I'll have to think of a way to survive. Nuo Lanshan pondered. Suddenly his eyes gleamed. Right, the army has its rules in the outer region wars. Allies cannot kill each other, anybody who does so will be deemed a traitor and will be executed. That means as long as I stay within the army, with countless people around me, Luo Feng cannot kill me. And if I leave the army and go on my own, he'll probably have his methods to get an automaton puppet etc. to easily kill me. And if a puppet kills me, even if the system sees it, it cannot determine it's him. Right. This is what I will do then. Nuo Lanshan nodded, making up his mind within. He would stay with this army under the two Undyings. At least if Luo Feng did do anything to kill him here, the army would be able to determine his guilt easily and he would be executed. I don't believe he would sacrifice his life to kill me. Nuo Lanshan smiled. Fifth brother, that mysterious sector lord warrior before sure was powerful. He must have a huge background to have an undying plant and such strength. Right, he sure was powerful. Nuo Lanshan smiled and nodded. Within the ship's control room, Boy and Shu Fan, the two undying generals, were using a banquet to welcome Luo Feng. Yan, if it weren't for you this time, we two brothers may have fallen. This debt, we will always remember. Come, try, this is the Yihua wine exchanged from the camp. Even though it's not very expensive, it has a unique flavor. Shu Fan lifted his glass. Luo Feng did so too and took a sip. The wine dripped down his throat and became a shimmering light, making his entire body comfortable. Not bad. Luo Feng nodded. To meet you in such a time of crisis, we are blessed. Boy laughed loudly. Since we are all allies, I naturally should help if I can. Luo Feng said. As for helping, one of the reasons was because they were human allies, and most importantly, his target was Nuo Lanshan. Luo Feng hated him to the bone. Right now, he had entered this team, then dealing with Nuo Lanshan would be much easier, as every action of Nuo Lanshan could be easily monitored by him. He was terrified earlier, now he seems to have calmed down. Looks like he realized that I cannot do anything to him in the army. Right, within the team, I am unable to make my move. Attacking allies is a serious offense. However, you will still die. Luo Feng naturally joined the team with a guarantee of being able to kill Nuo Lanshan without any consequences. If you leave the army and go alone, I'll have ways to kill you. If you stay within the army, the moment the army clashes with other races, amidst the chaos, I'll naturally find a way to kill you. Luo Feng was incredibly relaxed. Whether Nuo Lanshan stayed in the army or left in fear, he would still die. Nuo Lanshan still thought that the army would be safe, because, he didn't know, a warrior as powerful as Luo Feng would be able to find ways to kill him no matter what. Shu Fan, boy. Luo Feng smiled. I want to ask. Speak. The two Undyings spoke simultaneously. Luo Feng smiled. I just came to Yangji continent, and this continent here should be one of the larger fragments, right? The space map says this is continent number 9. Shu Fan smiled. Actually, there are many other races here on this continent. Over the countless years, they've already had their own names for these fragments. This one fragment is called Island. Island? Luo Feng was shocked. A continent larger than the sun by many times was called an island? Right, other than the main continent, the other fragments are normally called islands. The one we are over right now is Fog Island. Xu Fan smiled. The main continent has many powerful warriors, many official-level undyings, even emperor-level undyings. Hence it's extremely dangerous. Those that know they are not strong enough, mostly stay on these islands. This Fog Island is a larger island with many other races, however the undyings here are mostly at general level. There are about 12 official-level undyings here, maybe a little more. In all, we've confirmed 12 of them, and these 12 are considered the top power on Fog Island. There are at least 12 official-level undyings? Luo Feng put down his wine. I really haven't fought an official-level undying yet since coming to the outer region wars. Yang, you have to be cautious, otherwise it's really easy to die. The undying General Xu Fan emphasized, a pinnacle general compared to an official. Even though it may seem like a small difference. However, the difference in ability is terrifying, up to tens of thousands of times different. Just in terms of strength, the two may have very little difference. The only difference, however, is the undying body. The moment one attains an undying body, the difficulty to beat him will go up tens of thousands of times. Like Boy and I, our strength is very close to an official. However, if we self-destruct, we can completely destroy an official-level undying. However, he would still be able to regain his body without any damage. If our self-destruct cannot even harm the enemy, what's the point of battle? If we meet an official, there's only one word: flee. The undying general shook his head and sighed. With an undying body, even if we destroy that body thousands of times, he would be undamaged. Only with an undying body would one truly be eternal, otherwise even an undying is just cannon fodder. Luo Feng frowned. Normally there were only two ways to kill an undying with an undying body. One was to destroy his soul, another was to simply use brute force. But both of these options had huge requirements. Like the mission Luo Feng was assigned to by the Virtual Universe Company, killing an official-level undying, they naturally sent a team led by an emperor-level undying, and it still took a few rounds of battle before the undying was killed. Let's not talk about such matters, Yang. The general boy's voice was thick as he said anxiously, you just came to Fog Island. If you don't have a destination in mind, how about you follow us brothers first? Right. Xu Fan said beside, sticking to us brothers, you can get used to the battle atmosphere here in Yangji continent. The two of them looked with anticipation at Luo Feng. Then I'll be bothering you too. Luo Feng smiled. Sticking to this team would allow him to deal with Nuo Lanshan. Naturally this was his best option. The more important reason was his battle plan. Luo Feng would be here on Yangji continent for a very long time. As to exploring such dangerous places, it was better to acquire some experience first and collect information about the place. After flying in the ship for over a day, they entered a mountain range. The clouds engulfed the area. This was the reason the area was called Fog Island, as over 1/3 of the island was covered all year in thick fog. We've returned. We've survived. And we got quite a bit of points this time. It's all thanks to the sudden appearance of the mysterious Sector Lord Warrior. Nuo Lanshan followed the other soldiers through a path and entered the camp within the mountain range. Its insides had long been dug clean to fit a large base. Since Luo Feng joined the army, it seems like he really wants me dead. Nuo Lanshan glanced at the three silhouettes walking together in the distance, cursing within, just wait, I'll just stay in the army, let's see what you can do to me. If you kill me, that will be a huge crime and you'd have to pay the consequences. Yang. Xu Fan and Boy sent Luo Feng into a quiet palace. You can stay here for now. We'll give you detailed information about Fog Island when we get back. And whatever we understand about the place, we will send to you. We will rest for about 15 days before heading out on another expedition. After a while, Luo Feng received information via the Virtual Universe Network. There was very little information about Yangji main continent, but there was much available about the Fog Island. Detailed information about the 12 officials of Fog Island. Luo Feng sat and looked at the information on his arm. Every one of their pictures and information was displayed. Demon race, nickname Wheel Snake? Luo Feng looked at his picture and shook his head. This is one of the 18 royal bloodlines of the demon race, the Wheel October Eye Snake. Looks like a lot of the human undyings have very little understanding on how to deal with the other races. Belongs to the Bug clan, nickname Boulder? The information sure is lacking. This Boulder, he should be one of the races living far on the borders of the universe. He should belong to the rock life form Ka-Wu race. Automaton allies, nicknamed Blade Flash? Nicknamed Black Mist? Nicknamed Nightmare? Luo Feng looked at the information of the official level undyings, among which the demon race had 3, the automaton race had 2, the bug clan had 4 and humans had 3. Of course, large amounts of them were of the 4 pinnacle races' allies. After all, the subservient races were far from the pinnacle races, however once the numbers added up, they would be much more than the pinnacle race undyings. In the blink of an eye, 15 days had passed. The General Xu Fan and Boy led their armies in the ship and flew carefully above Fog Island, looking for their target. This time, however, they were very confident, because Luo Feng was on the ship too. Luo Feng, Xu Fan and Boy stood in the control room. "We've discovered our target." Xu Fan pulled up his screen and projected it. It was a blur of large amounts of scaled beings. The Chiosha soldiers, from a glance, there were over 10,000 of them. These little scaled beings are very ferocious, even normal domain lords and sector lords can explode and reform. From the looks of it, their scanning device isn't as advanced as ours. They have 2 undyings, and these 2 are not from the 12 officials list, they should be at general level. Should we attack? Xu Fan looked at Boy and Luo Feng. Yes. Boy gritted his teeth. Young? Xu Fan looked at Luo Feng. I came here to get points. Luo Feng smiled. Let's do it. All right. Xu Fan immediately gave the order to the 3 cabins below. Listen well, the battle will begin in about 4 minutes. The targets are the disgusting scaled beings. Nuo Lanshan looked at the pictures of the scaled beings, looking up. Just some ugly scaled beings. Everybody better get more points later. Yes, Captain. Understood. The domain lords and universe levels all replied excitedly. Luo Feng, I will always stay within the army. Let's see what you can do to me. In a while, I'll get more points. Nuo Lanshan was feeling the itch and he suddenly heard a rumble. The cabin doors had opened and a powerful roar rang in his mind. Listen to my order, battle. The vast army of close to 20,000 soldiers swiftly flew through the spacious cabin pathways. Nuo Lanshan was naturally amongst them. Rumble. A distant terrifying ripple rushed over, causing the space around to tear apart. The ripple shocked everybody. The battle's already begun. Nuo Lanshan glanced at the distance. In mid-air, there were 3 humans. One of them was completely covered in flames, one in ice-cold energy and one more with the aura of a huge bird, simultaneously controlling a terrifying huge beast god projection. They fought against 2 undyings. One of them was extremely powerful, and every punch tore through space, and another with 9 blades. How? The countless ugly scaled beings rushed over at them. Kill! The human soldiers all became over 10,000 beams of lights and fought. It's time to get points. Nuo Lanshan's eyes gleamed with excitement. He, who had acquired the universe-level huge axe medal before, enjoyed killing within. He flashed as fast as lightning at 2 Chiosha warriors. They were both domain lord level 9 warriors. They howled and tried to surround Nuo Lanshan. Committing suicide. Nuo Lanshan released his world projection and suppressed them, after which 2 delicate cicada wing-like flashes of blade lit up. They flashed in 8 directions. The 2 Chiosha warriors were instantly torn to shreds. It made the distant sector lord level 9 Chiosha warrior howl and rush over, causing Nuo Lanshan to retreat. Fifth brother, be careful. Leave that punk to us. The relationships forged over countless years had made the sector lord pinnacle warriors naturally come help out. This scene made Nuo Lanshan happy within. Even though he was independent of the army already, he didn't like exploring alone, mainly because the army always had others to help him out. Of course, at sector lord level 3, he normally needed other sector lords to help. It would take very long for him to reach sector lord level 9. Die? He once again killed the surrounding domain lord level 9 enemies, flashing back immediately to join with the other humans to kill others. Within this life or death training, he was like a fish in water. He enjoyed it deep in his bones. Thrilling. Nuo Lanshan killed excitedly. This Luo Feng actually didn't take out his undying plant. Nuo Lanshan glanced at the distance, discovering that Luo Feng had fought a few rounds with one of the scaled undyings. Even though the enemy was heavily injured, he hadn't won completely yet. If he takes out his undying plant, he would definitely win. Without it, would be much harder. Nuo Lanshan turned back to continue his massacre, rushing straight at a group of weak soldiers, making the sector lord level 9 Chiosha warriors rush over angrily. At this time, rumble. A powerful flash of a blade tore through thousands of kilometers, directly piercing through the area Luo Lanshan was in. He was instantly pierced through by the slash, his entire body exploding to pieces. Before he died, he stared wide-eyed, raging within, Luo Feng. The slash had torn through many of the little Chiosha warriors surrounding him. They died tragically. And in the distant air, Luo Feng, who was engaged with the Undying with the 9 blades, noticed this scene in the corner of his eye, snorting coldly before continuing to battle. "I don't believe I can't kill you without the Undying plant," Luo Feng roared. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.